welcome to Project Call 008. Welcome to the new year. 2021 is now started. The team is now back, and we are going full steam ahead with the launch of the products and the DAO, which, according to the roadmap, we're looking at around the end of January for the DAO launch, and then like mid to late February for Smart Yield. I'm going to turn it over to Bogdan so he can give an update on all of that and let everyone know where we are.
Hello, people. Happy New Year. So, as usual, I'm going to go through each product and then smart contracts, front and back and everything in one after the other. So, pool yield farming. We've had people ask about pool 3 on Discord and everywhere else, and what happens when pool 3 ends. And the answer to that is that pool 3 will end on February 7th, I think. And then after that, only withdrawals will be possible. So no more deposits in pool 3. And the possibility to stake bond for bond rewards, you're still going to have that, but it's going to move to the DAO. The rewards will be similar, but we will have a different distribution mechanism to that. Now on to the DAO, smart contracts and audits. Code is finished. It's still undergoing audits. Unfortunately, even auditors need the holidays, but good news, we're going to have them done by the end of the month, probably, and that's going to give us plenty of time to address any changes. So that puts the DAO launch at around the second week of February, because we want to have the audits finished. We want to be able to incorporate any changes that might come from those, and also have pool 3 and then flow smoothly to the DAO staking. Some more internal reviews for the DAO code. We discovered an interesting quirk. It's nothing even remotely dangerous or critical, but it's going to be interesting to see if any of the audits catch that. And we're going to let you know what that is at a later date, probably. We've deployed a couple of versions of the contracts on Rinkeby. One of them has shorter duration, so we can test everything and put proposals through all of their paces. Because if we use the main duration contracts, we would have only been able to go through all of the periods with one proposal until the launch. So we want to test everything. We're testing multiple scenarios on that. So far, it's looking good. Everything works as intended. Proposals are passing. Proposals are getting executed. The changes in the proposals we get executed are actually taking place. So it's doing what it's supposed to. Backend, not so glamorous, but we deployed the final version of the backend. Everything is working on that. The front end is in an awesome place. We just have a couple of screens left and making sure every case is covered in the codes. We're testing everything for that to make sure it all works. And when you click a button, it does what it's intended to. We could have done a demo for that because we have quite a lot of it working, but I haven't prepared for it. So for the next call, that's a promise. We'll definitely be able to walk you through the actual product, click on stuff and look around. That's it for the DAO. Smart yield bonds. Again, smart contracts and audits, development in progress for that. We're just writing tests for the code, wrapping up the final steps. The code is going to be opened up for auditors starting next week, hopefully. So it's going to be the first time that some outside eyes take a peek. Backend, not that interesting. You're not going to see this anyway. Specs are in progress. Everything is going to plan. Front end, with that, we've just had a walk through the UI. We're iterating on it. We're walking through it with everyone on the team to make sure we're not missing anything and to make sure that the whole experience looks and feels like what it's supposed to. Same as last time. Front end work hasn't yet started, but we're still on the UI, so that's probably the most difficult part of the UI and the UX. Smart Alpha bonds, smart contracts and audits. Again, our friends and advisors from AdFar They're working on the framework that, like both smart alpha versions of smart contracts we rely on. It's all going well. I guess no unsolvable problems, just unsolved problems, but it's looking good. We've seen some cool models from them. Yeah, as promised last time we talked, we were just gonna have a call and decide which version to release first. We've decided on that. We'll probably announce which one and what the difference between them is sometime soon, maybe after the smart yield launches. We've also started looking into audits, trying to book some slots, maybe late March, I guess. But yeah, we're just looking into booking them so we make sure we have some good names behind that. Front end and UI, no work is started on the front end, but some wireframes are in progress. So we can just say that it's going to be heavily based on the smart yield UI. And I guess that's it. DAO, yield farming, we've covered pretty much everything. Back to you guys.
Right on. Cool. Thank you, Bogdan, for that update. I just wanted to add that the audits are like the thing that Tyler and I are very focused on making sure happen and roll out in a timely manner. But just so the community knows, audits are hard to come by right now, and things can get slowed up. So we give a timeline, but we are still controlled by other teams that need to do audits. And even if we book them, some things happen. So I just want to, manage expectations around that. Switching from that, I want to go into what's been going on with standards. And I just want to say that this is going to be a pretty big initiative in Q1 and Q2 that's going to roll into something bigger that I don't want to really talk about yet because we can't, but can't do an alpha leak. But I want to turn it over to Akeem and let him take away where he is with standards and let him give an update. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right, cool. Thanks. So happy New Year, everybody. So I guess where we left it the last time, the standards, we pretty much have an internal draft that we are going through internally, just making sure, everyone has some input and that at least the first version of the standards are robust enough to cover our first two products. We're also having some external reviews with some of our partners that we've been working with on the standards to also kind of get their input, buy-in, see how we can make adjustments, potentially improve them. But the idea is that I think that conservatively over the next 2 weeks, we should have the documents finalized, and we'll probably publish them maybe in a blog post, and we'll figure out how it kind of gets onto our website. But that also feeds into, as Trevor was talking about, some broader things we're in discussions with other partners around extending the standards forward. And, at some point in time over the next 2 to 4 weeks, we should be able to talk about that and start sharing some of that information more substantively. So that's pretty much even on the standards themselves. I guess the other point of note is it's also sort of going to accelerate conversations with other partners, or what I'd say partnerships with potential other teams that you might want to sort of bring into that tent, but also it'll extend into potential partnerships in terms of others that would leverage the BarnBridge platform as we launch governance. So some of what I'm working on as well is just beginning to have some of those conversations as we get close to launch, so that we at least have conversations in the pipeline, and people sort of beginning to understand, the various ways they can interact with our platform, so that we can kind of get things running relatively quickly once we've launched the governance and launched our first couple of products. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's it's a good primer for what's coming around standards and the other things. So I see, Mark, you're on the call right now. Do you want to give an update on the bounties, if you're there?
Yep, I can. Hey everyone, my name's Mark, and I'm gonna give an update on the bounties. So I just recently put up all the bounties for the meme competition again. I've had some questions if we were still doing that. The answer is yes, we still are doing the meme competitions. So keep them coming in the Discord. We love y'all's memes. I know Tyler's been missing the Amish memes a little bit. Those are his favorites. So if you guys want to bring some Amish memes to start the 2020 year or 2021 year, keep them coming. Also, one project that I'm going to need help with this week, maybe next week, is I'm going to need someone from Missouri to help me build a profile. I'm going to set up a bounty for that today. So if anyone is watching this that is at Missouri or knows how to build a profile for us, please reach out to me either in Discord or on GitHub, and I can approve you for the bounty, and you can just DM me and we can talk there. We're looking for new ways to allow like bug bounty programs, but we still have not come up.
Mark, not to interrupt you, but about Masari, I went through that process for Andrew for Dharma Capital, so I have like their whole
Contact.
listing team in my email. So just follow up with me about that, and we can take care of it.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll connect you with Jack Purdy. I'm sorry, he's a close friend of ours.
Sweet. Well, then we'll be able to handle that pretty easily, but we'll set up a bounty for that and have someone for their team help us out.
I mean, we
And
don't
then-
have to pay them. That's what they do. They're like an informational website. But we'll take this offline.
Didn't Sir M want to set that up? Wasn't that his kind of thing?
Yeah,
Well,
so-
if he wants to help, he can. I mean, he's been super helpful. But let's
Yeah.
just take this offline and talk with Sir M and Keegan and me, and we'll get it handled. I know people at Masari. Sounds like
Alright.
Keegan does, and it sounds like Sir M does.
All good.
Cool. What about the translation stuff? Is that all? How are we on that?
Yeah, so we have just recently translated Portuguese, Catanic Spanish, I believe that's how you say it, European Spanish, and then Japanese is just actually got finished, and I'm talking with the guy who did it just to make sure everything is there. But we should I believe Pablo and Vitalik are working on launching some updates to the Russian and the Spanish and the Portuguese languages on the website. So just look forward to that, guys. We're going to have new languages, the white paper and website, and that's coming out. We have not changed the UI of the apps to any other languages, but we are still deciding if we are going to do. But that's-
Right on. Cool.
That's really it. We're making progress
Cool.
on the bounties, and we're getting more languages so that everyone can learn.
Yeah, no, that's a good update to 2021, where it's going, what we're doing with it. Should be expanding. I anticipate a lot more Gitcoin integrations coming in the future, to be honest, just based on conversations I've had with people. So look forward to that, everyone. After that, why don't we just hand it over to Tyler to do a quick update on like kind of the update on macro operations, marketing, anything you want to talk about, Tyler?
Yeah, I would say everyone can follow. I would just say that we have like quite a lot of updates coming out. As far as the bond bet, I guess I'll just approach first because I posted it in Discord. I started a channel. If everybody wants to look at like the website and start giving feedback, we like started on smart contract work with that to do the integrations with Pool Together. That is coming along and it should be done. I mean, obviously we can launch some of the Pool Together integrations before the DAO, but the DAO staking stuff, we obviously have to wait for the DAO. And so that is, I guess, first there. We're going to hold off on announcements probably until next week because there's some things that I need to flesh out in terms of like how we, I don't know, how we announce it. And that's just going to take me a little bit of time over the weekend to write a Medium post. We probably owe everybody like an updated roadmap. I think that we'll do like a rudimentary one running into like the end of Smart Yield, and then I think that as a group we'll just regroup and figure out where we go from there. But once we launch like BonBet, then we'll be launching the DAO. I assume that we're going to be playing around with the DAO for a couple weeks, getting things passed, and then by the time that we're done playing around with that, Smart Yield will launch. And we're also working on a couple different fronts with some of our investors on how we approach partnerships. I know like Akeen's been doing a ton of work on trying to keep a loose like CRM of partnerships as we get closer and closer. The most partnerships for everybody's like knowledge are going to come with like Smart Alpha, like the types of things that you can build with Smart Alpha. Whether you're putting like insurance products into it, whether you're putting like automated market maker, like liquidity tokens into it to help with impermanent loss. Like a lot of those, like not even theoretical, but like practical use cases are going to be some of the areas that the bigger partnerships come from, even like ETH staking, but that's not going to come out in like V1 of Smart Alpha. We need to get like the highest demand at the end of the day is going to be in like probably ETH DAI and like wrap BTC DAI, and we need to get those up and running and working properly before we worry about like the down funnel stuff. But just as a heads up to everybody, let's say Smart Alpha comes out in like March, most of like the true like partnerships and like use cases that come from that are naturally going to happen after that. So that's that. I have one other thing that I wanted to give an update to everybody about, but like there's some other large Medium posts that I need to be writing, but I'll just hold off and everybody can just follow Discord, Medium, and Twitter because we've been pretty heads down on getting shit done.
Definitely. I would just like to add, I do think that there's a lot of interesting talk around what's possible with Smart Alpha, and I think that I really would like to push the community to continue kind of expanding on different use cases. One of the other ones that we've recently heard about is juicing Aave yield, which I thought was a really interesting idea, and that came from Santiago over at Parify. So there's a lot of different things we can do with Smart Alpha. And again, I just want to encourage the community to push us because it will help us determine what we're kind of focusing on when we launch it, right?
Well, I actually have a cool one, not to derail this, but yesterday I was on an interview and actually, Keegan, it was with that guy Constantine that you introduced me to. I really like that guy. And he asked me if this is Smart Alpha, what's Smart Beta? And I had never thought about it before. But as soon as I thought about it, I was like, that's actually a good idea because what you could do is you could use our Smart Alpha technology and you could take like an index like DPI, like the DeFi Pulse Index, and anything that's in the DPI, like everything in Smart Alpha is going to have a peg, right? So like the natural one in the beginning is going to be like DAI or like a USDC type stablecoin peg. But if you took like Synthetics DPI as the peg or vice versa, you can actually create a way to like say that this asset is going to outperform the index or underperform the index. So you can be like, I like DPI and I want to be long all of these things in it, but like not necessarily this one. And then you buy the under collateralized position of the DPI, like an over collateralized position. You're like, I want to own all the DeFi, but I'm really bullish synthetics. So I'm going to buy like a 70% price tranche for it. So like we could, using the same technology for Smart Alpha, create Smart Beta pretty easily. The problem with indexes is like, let's say there's like, 10 things in an index, you have to get liquidity for every single one and the inverse. So like liquidity will be a problem for that. We may want to even create our own like index of maybe like 3 to start. But it's a cool idea, this like Smart Beta concept, so long as we can get liquidity right. And I don't think it's going to be a big technical uplift. It's more going to be a liquidity uplift.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I guess the next thing we can turn it over to is really the roundtable. If anyone here wants to talk about anything that wasn't on the agenda. One of the things, though, that did come up inside the Discord from Homer Shilson was questions around, which is a great name, by the way. Yeah, so like Bogdan, this kind of goes to you, or anyone in Q branch. It says how bond staking will transfer to DAO staking.
I think unwillingly I kind of answered that. It's gonna.
Yeah, you did kind of actually. But maybe just
when
recap it.
pool 3 ends. Yeah, when pool 3 ends on February 7th, I think that's on a Sunday, like the Sunday it's supposed to end. Hopefully there's not going to be any delay between pool 3 ending and the DAO staking launching. So people currently having bonds staked in pool 3 can withdraw those and deposit them in the DAO staking contract. And they're pretty much going to get the same rewards, but through a different mechanic. And I'm not sure if this is the time to talk about that, but we're going to release more details about how that mechanic is going to work and why it's going to work that way, and why it's different than the current one we have with the epochs for epochs farming.
Yeah,
but the rewards are
I don't think
similar.
we need.
That's
Yeah, I don't think we need to 100% go into the mechanism on that just yet. I think we should save it. Cool. So then the next thing that was asked from him, though, was what's going to be set in stone from day one when the DAO launches, like in regards to what can you do, right? The first things that obviously are going to be the rewards are going to be there. And then the other thing is that you will be able to put proposals in, but our governance structure is not like everyone else's. It's kind of like Compound. But there's other things that are going to have to be taken into account. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, with that, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably say a couple of words about the DAO, at least in my mind, maybe to add some more to that question. I think a lot of the design choices we've made and a lot of the direction we're trying to go is to really incentivize a lot of activity to happen within the DAO, right? And for DAO stakers to have quite a bit of latitude to put in proposals, extend ideas, and really kind of build an ecosystem around actively using our governance process as a way to, and between governance and Discord, like discuss ideas, share ideas, and create proposals. And so I'm really looking forward to like really spending a lot more time because I have a whole bunch of ideas of my own too, but just a lot of more time as we transition to that phase, just coming up with ideas within our community and beyond it to encourage not just the community to come up with ideas, but even partners who are looking for opportunities to build and work with us. Leveraging the DAO process and bringing them in, I think will also be an interesting thing to see how that evolves. So I'm hopeful that we've made the right decisions and that once we launch the DAO, then it'll just become clear as to how people can engage and how we've prioritized holders of bond to really have a lot of say in our future direction.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely interested to see what the conversations bring up inside the Discord and what people want to use, which is what I was kind of getting at with the Smart Alpha, because I would like to have it in a position that people could at least take and use at the beginning to build stuff with. So yeah, look forward to everything.
I got one real quick. On the topic of Constantine, so EJ and I had a good podcast there where we dove into the 3 liquidity mining pools, the various kind of risk reward potential of each of those, kind of tutorial, how to get involved, overview of what BarnBridge is, kind of the products that are on the roadmap and what they aim to accomplish. So if you are interested in any of that, I know there's multiple tutorials that are out there, but this one's like, very kind of detailed, thorough, click by click, how to start earning bond in the 3 pools. That's it's called Fourth Industrial Revolution, Smart Yield with BarnBridge and Synthetics. and the podcast is run by Konstantin Kogan. It's called Holistic Investments. If anyone is interested in another tutorial video.
Cool. Yeah, we'll definitely link that in when we break this down in Twitter, so everyone can check that out. If there is nothing else, I think we can sign off and get back to heads down. Is everyone good? Okay. All right. Well, everyone, welcome to 2021. Big quarter for us. We'll see you all in 2 weeks and in the Discord.
Thank you. Bye.
Adios.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.